The mob is getting louder. They're saying that inflation is going to last longer than what we think or we had initially thought. Not people like us, obviously, but more and more people who, don't really pay attention to inflation as much are starting to scratch their head a little bit and think, well, I think inflation might be here longer than what we initially thought. Take a look at this tweet here, stating in the second sentence, owner equivalent rent, OER, is the largest item with a 24% weight, this is within the CPI, and lags home prices. Rising OER will keep CPI high even as used cars and airfare ease. So as you can see on this circle graph here, housing is about 42.385%, 24% of our weighting here for CPI lies within owner equivalent rent. And the key thing to note here in this tweet is that it lags home prices. Why do I bring this up on a day like today, a day after we get a report like this? Well, it's something to take into consideration. Let me just bring this closer so you guys can see it a little bit better. There we go. Soaring home prices shattered another record in June, S&P Case-Shiller says. So we have continued rising home prices, continued record breaking that we're seeing this year. And as you'll see in this article, there's a lot more that can be said about this. Take a look. Home prices rose 18.6% annually in June, up from the 16.8% increase in May, according to the S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index. That is the largest. Now, this is the important part. That is the largest annual gain in the history of the index, dating back to 1987. The largest annual gain in the history of the index, dating back to 1987. Now, I will refer you back to that tweet that I just mentioned and the simple fact that it says that OER lags home prices, and specifically it lags the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. So if we are seeing currently, back in June, this is just 2 months ago, that we broke records, what do you expect will happen once the OER does catch up with and doesn't lag anymore with home prices? You betcha it'll catch up to what people like this billionaire investor is saying, which is inflation will soar. Now, this is on my website here. It says billionaire investor says to ditch crypto and buy gold. Inflation will soar. This is an article I just put out yesterday. And here is that investor, John Paulson. So let me read a little bit here from my article, and you can check out the rest on your own. There has been a debate about whether or not inflation will be transitory. John Paulson, a billionaire investor who foresaw the 2008 financial crisis, thinks that debate is over. Here's a quote from him. As inflation picks up, the logical place to go is gold, said Paulson in an interview with Bloomberg TV. He went on to highlight the amount of cash that will be seeking vehicles that perform well during inflationary times. So guys, definitely check out my website, goldandsilvertoday.com, to check out more of that article and what I had to say and what John Paulson had to say about inflation. But here's the thing. This is the whole point of this video. The whole point is that inflation, now that we just got this new confirmation, this continued confirmation of record-breaking home prices, inflation will be here longer than what we think because of rising owner equivalent rent over the course of the next several months, which has yet, and here's the other thing, it has yet to even get above pre-2020 levels. So just keep that in mind when people are saying that inflation will likely not be much of an issue in months to come. Let me know what you think. Check out goldandsilvertoday.com and that article that I just put out. Have a good one.